Thanks for being with us today. My name is Leo Manson. I'm a Senior Marketing Manager here at Microsoft, and we're pleased to present the first installment of a new series featuring success stories about Microsoft Dynamics CRM as told by you, our customers. Now, it's our goal to share a variety of stories from our community of CRM customers from around the world to help inspire you to try Microsoft Dynamics CRM for the first time or to take your implementation to the next level. Now, let's face it, we're living in some pretty unprecedented economic times, and because of this, having a strong customer relationship management system is essential, because CRM, put simply, is a way for organizations to manage their most valuable assets, their customers. Today, we'll hear from one of our customers from a large manufacturing organization with a unique story about how the parent organization and the underlying business units leveraged the resources of each other to make their Microsoft Dynamics CRM deployment a resounding success. Plus, they saved a bunch of money in the process. Taylor Corporation is one of the largest privately held companies in the United States, employing more than 12,000 people across their organization. There are more than 100 subsidiaries of Taylor Corporation providing business and personal communication products, technologies, and services to organizations all over the world. One member of the Taylor Corporation family of companies is IGH Solutions, who focuses on providing cutting-edge printing technologies such as encoded gift cards you'll find at retailers worldwide. To share her organization's Microsoft Dynamics CRM story, we're pleased to have with us Rachel Lockett, Information Technology Director from IGH Solutions. Rachel, welcome.
Thank you, Leo.
Rachel, I hope I've done justice talking about what your organization does, but let's get right down to the discussion if we could. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that your company faced when you were looking at why to even get into a CRM system?
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, being part of the larger organization, we wanted to be able to tap into all of these different companies and their customer bases and leverage that information together. So we're presenting one face to our customers. But our group of companies also consists of multiple divisions as well. And so we wanted to take these different databases of customer information and join them together. We had people using various systems. Some were using ACT, some were using Goldmine, some were using Post-it notes on the monitor. And we also tried a Salesforce.com implementation. So there was another place where we had data, and that was a very expensive solution.
So in other words, you're saying they're really corporate-wide, you really had just a whole bunch of disparate solutions?
Yes, we did. Okay. We wanted to pull all of that together so that we could present one face to our customer, so that if we had multiple reps going to the same customer, they would know the activity that had happened in the past, and they wouldn't show up a week later trying to tell our story all over again.
So the different divisions, the different subsidiaries or business units, do they oftentimes sell the same customer?
Yes, and we may in fact have multiple reps selling different products to those same customers or to different groups within that customer, and we could be leveraging those relationships to bring in other people into other areas, and we weren't doing that effectively either.
That's interesting. Talk about a little bit, you have an unusual situation we talked about a little before where you had a parent subsidiary relationship where part of it was using CRM. Can you discuss that for me?
Sure. Before we decided to implement Microsoft Dynamics CRM, another one of our sister companies had been using it for a couple of years already, and they had done some custom development specific to the needs of our corporation for budgeting and forecasting purposes, and we were able to utilize that and just copy that over into our implementation and take advantage of that, which was a great cost savings.
So if I can understand that, so they had already implemented Microsoft CRM, and so how did that work? Did you share information, share resources? What?
One of the first things we did when we were doing the research phase was go down there and ask them to present us with a demo of their installation, and they showed us what the greatest benefits were, what their favorite parts were, and also any challenges that they had, so we could learn from them.
So is it a company philosophy to take these kind of projects in smaller bites versus big chunks?
It's something we really try to do. We have a great community, especially I think it's led by our IT community within the organization, to share knowledge and learn from one another.
That's great. You don't hear that a lot, where one organization, other organization within the same broader organization shares information. Great stuff. That's good. Sure. Now, about partnerships. I know that you have worked with some Microsoft partners to get things going. Can you talk about how they worked with you?
Sure. We used one partner specifically who really had a lot of of experience with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. They were very knowledgeable about the product. So they helped us with the initial planning of our installation, and then they also assisted us with the migration of the data, because again, we were coming from 6 different ERP databases representing each of our divisions, as well as Salesforce.com. We needed to bring all of that data together.
And Post-it notes.
And Post-it notes. We needed to bring together all of that data and eliminate the duplicates and make sure that we had the account assignments done properly. And they really helped us out with that. And Microsoft Dynamics CRM was able to store all that information accurately. And then the business partner also assisted us with the actual integration between our back-end system and CRM.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. First off, you said that there was, all the data had to come together in one place. Let's talk about the back-end systems. How is CRM integrating with your back-end systems?
Well, we did a basic level of integration first, where CRM is the master of our contact information, and we are synchronizing that information to our back-end ERP system for billing purposes and for the back of the house purposes, and we're continuing to develop that integration so that then we're sending estimate information back to CRM for pipeline reporting purposes, and just really getting those talking to one another and working together seamlessly.
Now, in your prior installation, were you able to do that sort of thing?
No, we went down that path. There are many third-party companies who advertise that they will do that for you, but we went down the path with multiple companies, and none of them were able to give us what we needed.
I see. So what groups in your organization are effectively using Microsoft Dynamics CRM?
Well, obviously the sales reps are using it for tracking all of their contact information and all of the activities with those contacts. We also have finance, I mentioned, using it for billing purposes,
right,
and credit information about the customers. We have marketing using it for marketing activities and having, they really want to have that one database of all of our customers and leads. But then we also are inputting information about requests for quotes and creative requests and sort of our work orders. So that's feeding the back-end operations process, both sending them the actual requests as well as giving them a view into the pipeline for labor planning and material planning and just planning the capacity through the facilities.
So you've really integrated CRM as not just as a contact management system, essentially. Huh?
Yeah, it's definitely more than a glorified contact management system.
That's good. Let's talk about some of the advantages that you guys have had since you've implemented Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Can you talk about that?
Well, the biggest one was definitely the cost savings. If we added up the license fees, the environment, and the cost for the custom development of the integration with our back-end system, we still saved money in the first year versus the licensing fees for Salesforce.com.
Wow.
That's a huge benefit.
That is huge, yeah. Now, is the company Microsoft shop? Have you had a lot of Microsoft technology there?
That was another huge benefit, or I guess a reason why we looked to Microsoft Dynamics CRM when we began investigating, because we are already using SharePoint and, of course, the Office Suite and Commerce Server as well. And Microsoft Dynamics CRM integrates with all of those to one degree or another. Probably the biggest benefit from the user standpoint is that they can continue working in Outlook, where we all live and breathe every day for our email, and they don't have to switch to another system or know another login in order to do their CRM activities. CRM is Outlook with some additional buttons.
Yeah, that's right. We hear that a lot, about that being one of the bigger advantages that we have. So let's talk about that user adoption. That's obviously a pretty important part, and oftentimes the reason that CRM implementations fail. How did you overcome user adoption issues with our product?
Well, to begin with, we already knew we were going to have an advantage because of that familiarity. It was a product that they would know and be familiar with. Just like any Microsoft product, you know what's going to happen when you drop down the file menu. You can pretty much expect what you're going to see. We also really put a strong emphasis on training, and we provided a dedicated resource for user support.
And now, the parent company, you're not hosting it within your own organization, aren't you? There's a story there, if I recall correctly.
Yes. Our parent company is providing Microsoft Dynamics CRM to us as a shared service, so they have set up the hosting environment in their data center, and we're accessing it, along with a couple of other sister companies who are also doing the same thing. The advantage of that is that we save money. Every sister company that joins on and using the environment, we pay a smaller portion of the the cost for the environment
Pretty
itself.
important in this day and age.
Absolutely.
Save as much as you can, right?
I'm a huge evangelist out there trying to get my sister companies to join into the environment as
So
well.
let's talk about next steps. So where do you go from here? What is Taylor's and IGH's plans for further deployments?
Well, I'm going to keep trying to get more and more of our sister companies into the environment. And we also have a roadmap outlined for the further development we're going to do within Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So adding additional workflows to facilitate the sales process, the marketing processes, more workflows and forms that are going to feed our back-end operations, and then further integration with our ERP system as well. And probably one of the most important things is dashboards to get information to our executives, our operations managers, to really get them the information they need real time to make wise business decisions.
Yeah, I love the collaboration that you've got, all the different groups amongst your own divisions, your own subsidiaries, the groups within your own company. It's a great story.
Yeah, CRM isn't something that's just for the sales reps.
That's great. That is good. So since you've been through this for a while in terms of your implementation, and you've gone through other implementations of the CRM system, what advice might you offer to our audience to help them do a better job deploying CRM in the future?
Well, I would say start with finding a business partner who really has a deep knowledge and understanding and experience with the product. That's very helpful. Also, a strong emphasis on training. Really make a commitment to user training, and that will make your adoption easier, and that'll make sure you have good data in the system. And then just be open to looking at the system as a continually evolving tool that you're going to be using. You don't install it and then say, okay, we're done, and let it keep working it the same way for the next few years. You continue to evolve it and use it to improve your business and help you make better decisions.
That's really good. Good stuff. Good story, too, Rachel. I appreciate that. They're a model organization, and people can learn an awful lot of how you implement a Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So again, thanks to Rachel for taking the time to share her company's CRM success story with us. Now, as I mentioned before, this series is for you. We'd like to hear from you about the topics that you'd like to learn more about. Just send us an email at crmshow@microsoft.com and let us know your thoughts. Now, for more information, we encourage you to contact your account representative or visit us at crm.dynamics.com. We'll see you next month when we'll feature another customer story that demonstrates the best of Microsoft Dynamics CRM.